Okay, so the city hall was directly in front right here?
So in 1955, the city hall was located right there where that evergreen is. And a number of years ago, it had a mold, a heavy mold condition, and they had to take it down, and they rebuilt the new city hall and fire department.
So after they had the car wreck down there, then they all came up here to City Hall, and
That's
then
right.
they all gathered up here?
That's right. It was, like I say, the best I remember, the city hall was located right in there. It was a two-story building. The city hall was up on the second floor, and then you had the fire department, where they kept the fire trucks and all, was on the lower level.
Okay. Now, what was a little different on your interview, from what I understood, is when you talked to Elvis, y'all actually went outside. Is that right?
We did. We walked. There were some steps that went up to the second floor, and during the break, or when he recessed the hearing, I was standing in the entrance to the city hall. I wasn't actually in the room. I was just sort of standing, maybe just inside the room. And when he recessed, I walked down the steps and just walked out probably to about right in here. And then shortly after that, Elvis came down and came over, and we started talking. And that's when he asked me, he said, "Haven't you heard my music?" And I said, "Well, yes, I have. I've heard That's All Right Mama and Blue Moon of Kentucky." And he said, "Well, go tell the mayor, Joe Bill Gillespie, tell the mayor that I am who I say I am. I'm Elvis Presley, and I've got 2 recordings out." So during the break, I went over and spoke to the mayor privately, and told him that he was telling the truth, that he was a recording artist, although he was just getting established and only had a couple of records out, but that he was who he said he was. So when the mayor then resumed the hearing, he just announced that he would accept the check from Elvis, a personal check, and Elvis then immediately wrote the check out, payable to Tom Scott, signed it, gave it to the mayor, who just handed it right over to Tom Scott. The check for $25 was strictly for damages done to the truck.
Mm-hmm.
There was no fine per se for him speeding through the city limit. So the check was just to cover the damages that were done to the truck.
And then you didn't get to mention on the radio, but the outfit he was wearing.
You're right. I omitted that. While we were standing out here talking, I couldn't help but notice his dress. He was dressed in a burnt orange, sort of a country western attire, with the pants, the trousers were burnt orange, the shirt was burnt orange, and it had a black stripe that ran down both sides of the trousers. And as I said, what I remember was all of the hair, the ducktail hairstyle, and long sideburns, almost mutton chops, and that's really what stood out to me as far as his dress. He was about 20 years old at the time, so he certainly had a full head of hair and full sideburns.
And you mentioned he was pretty polite fellow.
Absolutely. He was very respectful during the hearing. He would say yes sir, no sir, very cordial to the mayor in every respect. So he handled himself extremely well. I thought he was just very cool. He didn't get rattled, he didn't panic. He was very calm and collected during the whole proceeding.